Hey guys, it's Ben. Today we're going to fight the Jinouga with the sword and shield. Now, I'm actually using a slightly overpowered weapon because I'm not like, well, I haven't actually used them at all in this game, so I had to go out and farm for it. The Icicle Spike, it's the upgraded barrier one, and the armor is just the standard pumpkin, which gives focus, lasting power, and what was the speed setup? And I've just gemmed it. No, I think it gives perception, and I've gemmed in speed setup and combo. Speed setup is actually really useful for this guy because you'll be wanting to use pitfall traps rather than shock traps. Because with pitfall traps they take longer to set up, so you're more likely to be hit by an attack. Now, probably my favourite, well, for the sword and shield at least, because focus doesn't work with it. My favourite skill with this armor would be the lasting power. Basically what it does is, I do believe it doubles the amount of time you have status effects, well, beneficial status effects. So if you take anything like a Might Seed, Armor Seed, Mega Demon Drug, anything like that which increases some of your stats, it'll just last for double the time. So I think the normal time for Might Seeds is 3 minutes, and because of lasting power I'll get 6 minutes, which should be most of the fight. Generally he starts off in 5 and will move to 6 pretty much straight away, although you might catch him in 5 and occasionally he'll come into 2. By the way, for those of you who will be doing this with level appropriate gear, I'll be showing you an alternative weapon for sword and shield at the end of this video. Although I recommend getting this weapon before farming him. Although I think it requires a Tigrex claw or 2, so you could just get so actually, just, if you're farming him before unlocking Tigrex, just grab the Rathalos sword and shield, the Digjin, because that's pretty good as well. Yeah, he's weakest to ice, and then next weakest to fire. When he goes into that charging mode, I think he does it 3 times. Although if you're lucky and get a good couple of hits off, you can break him out of it, which will mean he'll have to start again from that 1. So say he's charged 2 now, I think. See, but I broke that one, so that one won't count. Otherwise he would have gone into charge mode just then. He is quite quick, this guy, so sword and shield is actually decent, because you can stay on the move quite easily. Okay, now what I'm going to do now is just get away from him, because I know it's his 3rd charge. I probably won't break him out. Okay, forget what I just said. That looked like it was his 2nd charge. Yeah, but after I think it's 3 charges. This should be it. He will do that blast attack. Not only will that inflict you with lightning, it will also do quite a large amount of damage. And from now on, a lot of his attacks, like the ground pound, which he does with his hands, will have lightning element, and so you'll get Thunderblight. You get 2 element berries in the box, I think, on the urgent quest in the jungle mountain stream, the first place you go. But with this quest you get a easy pitfall trap instead, which I will use later. Also, another note, when he is in fully charged mode, his attacks will be slightly different. So one of his most annoying attacks is his ground pound with his forearms, and when he's in normal mode he'll just do 2. Just simply roll away from him just before he hits down, and you'll be able to dodge those. Then you can go back and get a couple of hits in. But when he's in charge mode, he'll actually do 3. Now, first time I did fought him, that caught me out quite a lot. He has a similar tail slam to the Nagakuga, except it's a lot quicker. So you if you see him jumping in the air, just roll. And also, he has an extremely annoying attack where he jumps and does a spin, and then he'll land right next to you. That is probably his most damaging attack, or at least the most common of his damaging attacks. Although I actually wear on him quite a bit in this, so he doesn't get a chance to use it. Another one of his attacks you won't actually see in this video is, well, what shall I call it? Impale, I guess. He does, he runs forwards a bit, then jumps backwards and lands on his back spikes, his conductors, you'd say. And that will inflict Thunderblight as well. But I think he only does that when he's charged as well. Whereas the spin attack he can also do when he's not fully charged. Now here I'm just going to show off speed setup a little bit with some bombs. Because bombs are always good, they do a lot of damage. Especially the extra ones. See? There we go. Now just run around, then get back in and start slashing him. Now at this point I thought I might as well go for a knockout. And I do get it in a minute, but not while he's in the pitfall. Generally, if you get them paralysed or knocked out in a pitfall, it's pretty much the best case scenario, unless you're aiming for something like a tail. Because then you will want to use shock traps instead of pitfalls then. The only problem with shock traps against this guy is that they charge him into fully charged mode. So I actually don't recommend using them at all, but you can use them to capture him if you're sure he's ready to be captured. But apart from that, don't, because he's a lot harder to kill in his charge mode, because he'll be quicker, more damaging, and inflict Thunderblight. Oh yeah, for those who don't know, Thunderblight, it just increases your chance of getting stunned, where you get dizzy. It's actually really annoying against this guy, because then he'll be able to do loads of damage to you quickly. Now, yeah, I'm just going to go for a capture here. I'm just going to use Pitfall Trap, because with speed setup, there's not much difference in the time it takes to load. Okay, as you saw, you might have noticed I've broken, I think you can only break one of his horns, and you can break all of his legs, I think, or at least, well, I've definitely broken the front two. I'm not sure about the back two. I don't think I've ever broken them. At this point I'm not too worried, because even though he's charged, I've got a trap down ready to capture him. There we go. And that's pretty much all there is. If you're using a level appropriate weapon, then you might get a slightly slower time. But I mean, that was 7, yeah, there we go. That's just under 7.5 minutes, which really isn't too bad, considering I'm not that good with the sword and shield. And there's not much difference between the fire and ice element. I think he's only slightly weaker to ice. So by all means use the upgraded Kurapeka one. I'll show that off in a minute when we get back to the town. Just a few controls that if you weren't sure with the sword and shield. If you press circle without moving, you'll do those side slash and then the spin. If you do it while moving, you'll do the shield bash. And if you press it again, you'll do 2 shield bashes. And you can link triangle attacks into circle attacks like that. And I actually get cut off here, but you can also, if you're moving the directional analog stick after using a triangle attack, you can do a shield bash as well after that, which is quite useful for knocking monsters up. Now, thank you to Gretty2345 who requested this, because I actually got a plate from that, and that's always a nice thing to do. I actually farmed him for ages to get a plate for his hammer, which is the only weapon which actually needs one. And I recommend getting his longsword because it'll probably get through most of the offline. Tigrex, Diablos, I killed them both with that longsword. Now this is just the alternative weapon. That I have the normal one, but you can upgrade it to either one of these two. As you see, the Bone Tomahawk Plus, it's got decent attack. I think only 10 less than the one I'm using, and it's actually got more affinity. But that's it. See you guys.